song is A New Tomorrow by Swami Priyananda.
When the dawn breaks and then the morning sends the sun high in the sky, who would hide from heaven's glory? Who would pass the challenge by? La 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 la.
There's a morning for every nation, like the sun's high in the sky. There's a time for every people to affirm their destiny. La 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 la.
Even so, all of us together can create a better land. Leave the past, a new tomorrow waits for all who understand. There's a morning for every nation when the sun's high in the sky. There's a time for every people to affirm their destiny. La 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 even so, all of us together can create a better land. Leave the past, a new tomorrow waits for all who understand. La 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 la. Leave the past, a new tomorrow waits for all who understand.
Good morning. Our readings are taken from the Rays of the One Light, weekly commentaries on the Bible and Bhagavad Gita by Swami Kriyananda. And this week, the eternal now. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. When will I find God? Many devotees have asked this question. Because worldly goals require time usually for their fulfillment, we imagine time to be a factor on the spiritual path. And so it is, but only because we think it is. God is as much with us now as He will ever be. It is not He who needs to come to us, we need to come to Him. And that process of coming is a matter of transforming our self-perception. In the Gospel of St. John, chapter 4, Jesus Christ says, Say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest? Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes, and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest. There is a practical teaching in these words, apart from their statement that we have God already, and have only to realize that truth. Jesus is saying, lift up your eyes and look. To hold the eyes uplifted is the best position for meditation, for the seat of superconsciousness lies at a point midway between the eyebrows, in the frontal lobe of the brain just behind that point. This point is known also as the Christ Center. By lifting up your eyes and concentrating there, you will find it easier to enter the state of ecstasy. That is why saints in every religion have often been observed during states of deep inner communion with their eyes uplifted, focused on the inner light, white, as Jesus said, all ready to harvest. The Bhagavad Gita goes further into this meditative teaching. In the 6th chapter it states, holding the spine firm, the neck and head erect and motionless, let the yogi focus his eyes at the starting place of the nose, the point between the eyebrows. Let not his gaze roam elsewhere. In meditation, tell yourself, I have him already. I am alive forever in the divine light. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Oh.
Morning, everyone. Very nice to have you with us. For those who may not know me, my name is Surendra. I'm here with Nayaswami Bharati and with Lorna and with Pavani. It's our pleasure to be here, and so glad that you joined us too. And I want to especially thank Suzanne and Pooja for this beautiful altar. It's always so inspiring to come up here and be surrounded by such beauty. Let me begin with a reading from Whispers from Eternity by Paramahansa Yogananda. These are his poems and prayer demands, and this is the demand for the rising of the aurora of intuition. Infinite Spirit, thy presence is hidden equally behind the warm rays of the sun and the cool light of the moon. Those lights, though welcome and wonderful, reveal only Mother Nature's splendor in matter. They reveal not thee. To me, they are therefore darkness. Thy all-revealing, majestic, and supreme light shines not on, but from within, the center of everything, therefore creating no shadows. Shadows in this world reduce light itself to non-light. In theory, I have known this. Now, Lord, take all darkness away from me. Wherever I sit with eyes shut, enclosed in my own darkness, cause to blaze upon me in glory the aurora of intuition, that suffused in its light I may gaze raptly upon thee with worshiping eyes. These readings that we do each Sunday from Rays of the One Light by Swamiji and these poems by Master, they cut right to the core of what we need to know, what we need to do, and how to do it to attain our soul's freedom. But we may not respond with enthusiasm when the message requires putting forth more effort than we may be accustomed to giving, or when it challenges our comfort zone. But there's no denying the truth of what we are being told. Live in the eternal now. That's what Swamiji's reading is telling us this morning, and couple that with our affirmation today of peace of mind. And when you do, when you make that connection, you find it to be the recipe for a very appetizing life. The instructions are really quite simple. So why is it that we find it so hard to follow those instructions? Something inside us, our restless conditioning mostly, seems to interfere on a regular basis. And off we go, mixing and stirring other questionable ingredients into the pot, into that recipe. And then what do? We turn up the heat with our emotions, and sooner or later, we're having the experience of a rather unsavory situation. This puts me in mind of a story by Kurt Vonnegut. Early in his writing career, he published a book of short stories entitled Welcome to the Monkey House, one of my all-time favorite titles. And in this particular tale, it's set in a futuristic time of excessive government control, much like the Big Brother society that George Orwell created in 1984, his novel 1984. And in this story, it features a rebellious young man by the name of Harrison who wants things to be different than they are. And of course, this makes him dangerous as far as the establishment is concerned. Well, Harrison has the misfortune of being above average in intelligence, and so therefore he must be equalized. lest he become a threat to the status quo. Thus, he is arrested by the handicapper general, another one of my favorite concepts, which is maybe not so futuristic after all. But Harrison is disadvantaged in a most ingenious way. He, by means of a surgical implant, his brain function is zapped every 6 seconds so that he can no longer think of anything long enough to formulate a plot against the government. Well, as far as I know, my own brain has been spared this particular alteration, and yet I can relate to Harrison's predicament here. And that's because I can scramble my thoughts every 6 seconds without any help at all. And when I sit to meditate, I'm often very good at doing this. The eternal now, along with my peace of mind, can be easily swept away as if on gusts of wind, one right after another. And maybe you're better at thwarting these mental interferences, but I'm guessing that I am not the only lone rearranger of brainwave activity. And just as an aside, our Sadhaka group the other night was watching a video from the village, a Sunday service that Anandi Cornell was giving. And she cited a study in Canada about people's attention span. And it turns out the average adult attention span is 8 seconds. Not exactly auspicious, but to make it worse, the attention span of a goldfish is 9 seconds. So please try to bear with me because I still have about 12 minutes to go. Maybe you can also relate to this. In meditation, most of my mental distractions come in the form of rather predictable content, going through my latest to-do list or wondering where I left my keys. But sometimes these invasive thoughts have no bearing whatsoever on anything that seems relevant in my life. They seem to just come out of nowhere as if they belong to somebody else. And isn't it true that we all have a certain weirdness quotient that cannot be explained in any other terms? A bizarre image or thought, comes waltzing in, and we're left to wonder how in the world we could have conjured this up. And yet, in essentially the same moment, I'm reminded of Yogananda's statement that all thoughts are universally rooted. In other words, no matter how random or insanely comical my thoughts may appear to be, I have managed to attract them all by myself according to my own specific level of consciousness. And that can be very disconcerting. So speaking perhaps for all of us, let me state the obvious. Welcome to the monkey house. Given our social conditioning, no one is completely immune from these subconscious interruptions of both common and an outlandish nature. We take in so much data, some of it willingly, a lot of it not. And because of this, we're bound to experience a certain mental intermingling of the information, and sometimes what pops into our minds appears to have come from some alien culture. Well, at least viewed from a healthy perspective, this can be amusing. The point I want to make relates to meditation, and even though I have gone about getting there in a rather obtuse way, I hope that you find some of this encouraging. In meditation, you're supposed to relax even as you sit with a straight spine, which can, in other words, already test your discipline, and in testing your discipline can test your attitude. At times, we are all prone to meditations that seem like an unrelenting series of busy detours along the thoroughfare that we want to be following. And does this mean that our practice is failing? And should we therefore just hang it up and do something else instead? Absolutely not. Nothing of value is ever won without a firm commitment of energy and will. And when you make that commitment and you hold to it, success accumulates a step at a time. It may not be dramatic, it seldom if ever is, but it will be steady, and it will serve you better than you can imagine at first. Meditation starts with showing up. And even in the throes of distraction, I remind myself of the words of Saint Teresa of Avila, who said that a meditation is well done even if all you did was struggle against those fidgety, fickle thoughts that try to pull us away. Be mindful, too, of what we repeat each Sunday and will repeat later in our Festival of Light. Even a little practice of this inward religion, meaning meditation, will free one from dire fears and colossal sufferings. The eternal now and its connection to God, it's not difficult to understand from an intellectual standpoint, but relating to it is another leap altogether. And why is that? Well, Yogananda, in the reading today, explained it quite simply. We require time to find God because our conditioning binds us to time consciousness. Events occur and our lives unfold in a linear progression of time. That's our reality. A farmer plants a seed, and it takes time to grow and mature. Yet Jesus is saying in today's reading, the fields are white to harvest already. He's reminding us that God is always there. His goodness and grace are ready to gather now, eternally now. We must only lift up our eyes in awareness of this great redeeming truth. Never has God been unavailable to us. It is only we alone who allow that He is remote or unavailable. We get lost in time, in the illusion of its linear appearance. Years ago, in that linear sense of what we call the past, I used to practice the martial art of karate. And I was blessed to have a teacher, a Shihan, who was both a Japanese champion and one who approached his art from a deeply spiritual motivation. He would begin each class much as Yogananda would begin one of his lectures. He'd come out and he'd say very loudly, "How you feel today?" And then he would answer his own question. "You feel good or you feel bad, make no difference. Karate is do or die. If you no fight when enemy come, maybe you die." And what he was telling us, of course, is that karate is a metaphor for life, no more and no less than any other discipline, from music to quantum mechanics to meditation. The demands of the practice are the same. We live fully in the moment with energy and right attitude, or it becomes an opportunity lost. We die to the chance that we've been given. Winning, on the other hand, is what we do every moment of being fully engaged in that moment, in the eternal now. In your meditation, do you hear the sound of Om? Do you see the light of the spiritual eye? Some people do and some don't. If you don't, does that mean that your practice is failing? This is simply the wrong question to ask. Success in meditation is not measured by phenomena, but rather by how it changes you in every facet of your life. You're bound to find it a battle at times. But rather than see it as that, how do you respond? How do you continue to strive for that divine connection? And if you do, you are bound also to find it having a positive effect on who you are becoming. So don't get hung up on the good, the bad, and the ugly of your daily practice. When it comes to meditation, do or die is mostly about your willingness to make the effort and the attitude that you bring to the time you spend. When your willingness and attitude are right, they create a magnetic field of attraction for God's and Guru's grace to carry you forward in subtle and yet very significant ways. The monkey house is real. Our minds are in it much of the time, but we don't have to identify with its restless highs and lows, its chatter, its herd mentality. We can be in it without being of it. The handicapper general is real too. His name is modern society. That sly force that is constantly besieging us with what it says we have to have and how we have to be in order to be happy. Make no mistake, society does not have your interest at heart, only its own. When you understand that, and when you begin to realize that freedom lies in walking the path that great saints and masters have revealed to us, calmly accepting the challenges that are yours to meet, finding the courage to love and to forgive, then no handicap can keep you from your destiny, which is the promise of merging back into union with God. Every saint and self-realized master has been where we are right now. They know all about the monkey house because they grappled with it the same as we against those same adversities. Out of love alone, they are ready to guide us across that sea of delusion, around and through the storms of stresses into the experience of eternal bliss. Start where you are. Give yourself to the journey. And as Lahiri Mahashaya would say to his disciples, Banat, Banat, Banjai. Someday, doing, someday done. God bless you. Let's just take a moment of reflection, and then we'll have some more music.
This song is God, God, God. Words by Paramahansa Yogananda and also from Whispers from Eternity. Put to music by Swami Kriyananda. From the depths of slumber as I ascend the spiral stairway of wakefulness, I will whisper, God, God, God. Thou art the food, and when I break my fast of nightly separation from thee, I will taste thee and mentally say, God, God, God. No matter where I go, the spotlight of my mind will ever keep turning toward thee. And in the battle din of activity, my silent war cry will be, God, God, God. When boisterous storms of trial shriek, and when worries howl at me, I will drown their noises, loudly chanting, God, God, God. When my mind weaves dreams with threads of memories, on that magic cloth will I emboss, God, God, God. Every night in time of deepest sleep, when my peace dreams and calls, joy, joy, my joy comes singing evermore. God, God, God.
Waking, eating, working, dreaming, sleeping, serving, meditating, chanting, divinely loving. My soul will constantly hum, unheard by any. God, 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 God. I wanted to draw your attention to a few things that's happening. One is right after service, we have our monthly healing prayer circle. All are welcome to attend, to pray for the world, to pray for people you know, to ask for prayers for yourself. It's a wonderful way of being a channel for that light. So after we all go out with joy and we have some bagel bar out there, when you we'll ring a little bell and you can come back in here for the healing prayer circle. We have a 3-hour meditation this coming Friday from 6 to 9. If 3 hours is a little scary, you can always come to part of that at the beginning, at the end. Just join your energy with other people here at the temple in meditation. And some of you may have heard that we're having a 50th anniversary celebration. That's for Ananda Worldwide, celebrating 50 years. The first Ananda colony was founded outside of Nevada City, California. And there's a huge celebration happening starting this all next week. So a lot of our Sangha members here are going down at various times within the next week. We want to let you that are staying here, including me, to know that there will be live stream of all of the classes and events there, and you can always sign up online and do that at home if you'd like. But we're also offering all of the classes. There's 10 o'clock classes happening every morning during the week, and those will be shown at the Living Joy Center at our community, and all are welcome to come and attend that and take part in a little meditation after that if you would like. If you have questions, ask about that, but that will be happening during the week. And then the July 7th service, which is not this coming Sunday, but the next Sunday after that, is the wrap-up of the week. And we will be live streaming that service here at the temple. The thing to remember, though, is it's an hour later. The Sunday services at the village are start at 11 instead of 10 o'clock like we do here. We'll put out notices, reminder emails. We'll put a sign on the door. We'll try to remember, let everybody know. But again, you're welcome to come. We'll just have the screen set up here, and we will take part just as if we're there with all 800 or 900 other people that are going to be down there. Again, if you have questions, let us know. And thank you to any and all of you who put in your energy yesterday. We had a Seva Day here at the temple. We got a lot done, lots of things cleaned, lots of things moved around, projects finished and projects began, and it was a lovely energy and a lovely time together. When we do that together, we all grow more and more. So thank you for that. And there'll be more opportunities to do that again. Thank you.